Khubor ka Batesi TV. Lawan ra siya pi da ka Orange Nissan Lumso po near Fire Brigade Shillong. Ringkat bat ka net foodish. Ordar mapi. Nginwan ra mangi hakerdog ying jongpi.
Unong ilam jong kaliang persya Dr. Mukul Sangma harengkat ke jingsenran lang jong ki MLA ki bakentop ya Uzanit Sangma uba Himalaya M Shangpliang uba Mohendro Rapsang lembat uba shit lang pali ki lahir jurip menta kasngi ke shiterik ubna jelleu arajar arpuwei ya ki jaka aijing sumar bayadei bat u COVID-19 ki badan Shawes Jaintia Hills District. Hagani ke jing hiar jurip laidon langru Deputy Commissioner jong ke West Jaintia Hills District uba Garot LSN Dykes u Director of Health Services MI u Dr. Amanwar lembat u District Medical and Health Officer u Dr. KC Ajar. Tang suyo kejat hajawai u Dr. Mukul ulah hiar jurip shwa ya ke Corona Care Center kabadan hakas nong umulong bat hadin ke nipat ulah let jurip saya ki isolation center kibala penyai da ki dorbar snong kibadan hakas nong lat thalabo bat hakas nong chiliang rai nang nipat upteng ye ke jingle jurip ru ya ke Maternal and Child Health Hospital Jowai kabadan hapanaliar bat ye ke oxygen plant kabadan hagani hi ke Jaka Sumar.
We did look at areas which needed to be attended by the government, particularly in respect of ramping up the facilities across different districts, and also the various other collateral measures which are required to be put in place. Now, the government's response to our observation has been that there has been a response though, but then very sluggish. Today we have visited the dedicated hospital in Jowai, where the measures to ensure that we have enough oxygenated beds are in progress. We also visited the designated Corona Care Center, which is yet to be operational. In fact, it has been just met ready. And two of the Corona Care Centers being managed by the community themselves. And one of them is only ready. It's not yet operationalized. So, to be practical, we saw only one which is operational, where we have a few cases there. So, our observation based on these and earlier inputs that we have received is that the government need to provide the necessary support to the health department. When we look at the support that has been provided are completely inadequate, and even whatever is being provided is in the process of implementation, which gives us reason to believe that the overall preparedness was completely missing, and unfortunately that has resulted in painful experience for all of us, wherein we have lost precious lives. So measures that would have prevented the number of incidents and measures that could have saved precious lives. So those two things are seen to be wanting. Now, here in Jowai, the dedicated COVID hospital, where all the measures for providing oxygenated beds are in progress, you have yourself been there as a witness. So piping is on. We only hope that it will be completed sooner than later, so that at least the burden of referring the patients to Shillong can be avoided. I have all the inputs based on our conversation with people from different districts. Now, particularly this Jaintia Hills region, most of the patients were compelled to be shifted to Shillong. And this is precisely because of the inadequate facilities in Joy itself, which in turn add extra burden on the availability of beds for the COVID patients in Shillong. Most of the private hospitals in Shillong are flooded by patients from other parts of the state, from Rivor and from Jaintia Hills. This is because the facilities which could have been created here on time were not done. Therefore, the government has to provide the necessary support to the health department. The necessary support in time, not just the support, but in time. And even as we talk today, since we really don't know how the virus is going to behave, we have to keep in mind that after the second wave, we need to be prepared for the third wave. Last year when we interacted with all of you, I have said that based on what we know of the past pandemics, pandemic of this nature, particularly when it is a pandemic associated with virus, then you always see waves after waves coming. And the kind of pandemic that has happened in the past give us enough inputs, agonizing experience for our people who have looked at vaccinating themselves. You see, there are two things. One was to convince people to agree to get vaccinated. And another thing is to ensure that who want to get vaccinated have the vaccines. You have already seen after the announcement of the government that different slots were allotted for the group of the targeted population between 18 and 44 to get themselves vaccinated. Now, this particular exercise, notwithstanding what has happened, is that people suddenly realize that, okay, though they want to get vaccinated, vaccines are not available. So therefore, it all shows that, okay, the preparedness, both the union government and the state government, the collective delay in responding to be able to be prepared to deal with these challenges of pandemic was missing, unfortunately. Now, when we say this, then there's a tendency to, interpret this as a blame game. But the deficiencies, unless pointed out, there will always be tendency of the people in authority who are habitual defaulter in responding to a challenging circumstances to think that everything is fine. That chalta hai attitude cannot be the approach to deal with this kind of challenges. We need very serious, focused team of people who should be in the helm of affairs of the government. And therefore, whoever are in the helm of affairs of governance must be really committed, serious, focused, and try to learn more and more. And through that learning process, one is capable of knowing the multiple measures which should be funneled together in a comprehensive manner to deal with these challenges. So, anytime when we deal with this type of pandemic, what happens? If the pandemic always revolves around when the pathogens are highly infectious. Now here we are talking about this novel coronavirus named as COVID-19, which is highly infectious. And not just highly infectious, it's mutating faster than we expected. Therefore, the challenges, foreseeable challenges, the apprehension associated with the fallout must be understood. And therefore, our action also must be appropriate. Our measures which are being put in place must be appropriate, proportionate to the kind of challenges that you are likely to face. Now here, if you want to stop the way the virus is mutating, that means the rate of transmission at which it is going must be broken. So besides other measures, vaccination is one part. Vaccination is the weapon. Now, if you are fighting against the enemy and if these weapons are not there, that means you are fighting the enemy without weapons. It's as simple as that. Therefore, if you are fighting against the enemy and if you are serious that you should fight effectively to win the war, then you must have the weapons and you must give the weapons. Because this war is not being fought by one individual. This war is to be fought collectively, and only when we collectively fight, then only we will win. That's why the weapon has to be with everybody. That's why the vaccination has to be ensured that it reaches every nook and corner. Without that, then you are going to fight without a weapon. So the virus will find a new host. So long the virus is going to find a new host, you will always have the enemy in your backyard, an enemy which cannot be seen. That's why please understand, the complexity of the problem associated with this fight against this virus. Mutate and further create surprises, we need to be prepared. Therefore, it will be in the fitness of things that all the line departments who need to come together and fight this war against the virus must be provided all the necessary support. We must have enough exhaustive auditing done in respect of our capabilities to fight against the virus. Because when we are at war, we need to know how prepared we are. Are the arsenal enough? Keeping in mind the enemy's arsenal, the wherewithal that we need to have. So we need to continue in our effort to see that all the necessary support is provided to all the line departments, particularly the health department. Today, one important thing which I want to share with you is that while we have the oxygenated beds, and when we need to look at transferring the patients because of the severity who will require ventilator, you'll also have to have manpower. Now, this manpower auditing has not been done properly. That's why we don't have whatever ventilators are available not being put to use. This is precisely what is happening in other districts. Talk about Garo Hills, talk about Jaintia Hills. We should have enough manpower. We have to send our doctors for training, particularly in view of the fact that we don't have enough anesthetists. We need anesthetists to operate the ventilators, to take care of the patients who are compelled to be supported by the ventilators. And we all know about our strength. How many anesthetists do we have? Even for normal operations. And knowing fully well all these deficiencies, all these weaknesses, it is very important for us, since we know that we are going to fight against the enemy, if we need to ramp up our capability, our arsenal. That is how you ramp up your arsenal, your capability. And I'm sad to see that this has not been done, but I have had an interaction. In fact, even before this, I have been talking to the director, GHS, the other senior officers. Look at the alarming number of death count on a daily basis. and look at the percentage of the death. If you are looking at the death count, it's more than 2%. Anything beyond 1% is a matter of concern. And if you look at the cause of this high death count, then we are able to also know many things which revolves around the deficiencies. And these deficiencies must be taken care of to avoid loss of precious lives. Dealing with these serious COVID patients, as per the progression of the disease when the patients require to be shifted to ICU, if the patient required to be shifted from one district to another, the precious time which is wasted in the shifting of the patient and the challenges of getting back after getting referred or after being shifted, that is where precious time is wasted. And subsequently, besides the burden or the pressure on the hospitals in the state capital, New London, adding more severe cases to those hospitals. So every facility is required to be created for the Giant Terrace region in Joy, for Garwell's region in Tura, and we cannot have any other option but to do it. And we'll be taking it up further after this. I wish all my beloved families whose patients are in different COVID care centers, community COVID care centers, institutional COVID care centers, and are some of them who are in hospitals. I wish all of them a speedy and complete recovery. And also, we convey our deepest condolences to all the family members who have lost their loved ones during our fight against.